Hey everyone, in this training video, I am going to go over how to properly set up and market your business from your personal Facebook page. Now, this is all organic, okay? And the point of this training really is to get people to come to you, to slide into your inbox, to ask you questions and to inquire instead of you going up to them. So there are 5 key things that you need to have set up properly on your Facebook page for this to work. Your cover photo, your profile photo, your description, where you work, and your feature photo. Now let's talk about the don'ts on your personal page. You do not want to have a blatant advertisement as your cover photo. Save that for your business page or your group. Okay? Don't have a stuffy headshot. You can have professional photos, but since this is your personal page, you want to showcase your personality and your content of character. So we don't want to use headshots. For the most part, when you see a user using headshots on Facebook, they're typically a real estate agent or an insurance person. I'm not saying what they're doing is wrong, but really to implement the strategies that I'm talking about and have people coming to you, you want to show more of that personality. You also don't want to overlook the power of the description. You don't want to show every single place you've worked at, and you don't want to have multiple feature photos. I suggest if you are going to use more than one, only use up to 3 and have each one be a different offer. So let's talk about the do's. So for your Facebook page, you want on your cover photo, you want to showcase your family or your hobby or something that means something to you. For your profile photo, you want to showcase your personality in that photo. For your description, you want to do a power statement or a success comment, showcase how you've helped clients. For your where you work, you want to show just the current business opportunities that you're actively promoting. And then for your feature photo, like I said, you want to use 1 to 3 photos max, and you want to put that link in the description of the photo. So let me show you my profile. As you can see, my cover photo has this really cool graffiti look. The story behind this was actually taken when I was in Brooklyn. Even though I do business financing as my job, one of my hobbies and passions in life is photography. As you can see, it says lone wolf right here, and you can see my wolf tattoo. It's something that I'm pretty known for. And so this overall showcases a part of my personality and a part of my passion, which is photography. It's very catching. People are going to wonder, what is it that I do? Who am I? When you look at the profile photo, this is actually a headshot. I personally took this headshot, but it's showcasing a bit of my personality. Again, the hand tattoo is pretty recognizable. And so this is very eye-catching. And then when you look at the description here, Get Funding here is my consulting business. The reason why I chose this name is it's very direct. It points out the keywords, and it can it pretty much tells you, what I do. I highlight how many businesses I've gotten approved for, and then I do a call to action. How can I help you? Setting something similar up to this on your personal page, it draws people in. They know what you're doing, and now if you're there, if your new friend or follower is your target audience, they're going to slide in your inbox and they're going to inquire without you ever having to say a word to them. For your about section, as you can see, here is a very big key and something that I'm seeing a lot of people do wrong. Don't put that you're an owner. Don't put that you're a founder. Don't put that you're the CEO. Instead of picking a generic, boring title, take the opportunity and actually put what the page is about. Instead of putting, owner of Get Funding here, what I did was I put what we offer. Get your startup or small business funded at Get Funding here. That way, a person that's new to your page sees the purpose of that page, knows what they're getting into. And now if they're specifically looking for funding, that's going to reach out to them and they're going to take a look at that. And then if you look at my feature photo, I have one feature photo. These are things that I like to play around with. I test these often, so this will change here and there. When you're watching this video, it could actually be something completely different. I see where it says click the pic for the link. When someone clicks on that pic, there's a copy. I describe what the link is going to be, and they click that link and they opt into my funnel, or they get to read my funnel. This is the best way and the 5 components to set up your page. So when people are browsing and they see you and the people they might know, or a suggested person, or they're looking around Facebook and they see that, now they know what you do. They have a good idea about who you are and what you provide. And this is when you'll see people sliding into your inbox, inquiring without you ever speaking to them. So before I dive into content and what to post and when to post, I want to talk about overall how Facebook works. And there's something called edge ranking. So your edge ranking is measured by Facebook algorithm, and the Facebook algorithm is constantly changing, right? So what Facebook wants is Facebook wants a friendly, happy, and memorable user experience. Facebook is a free platform, but they want their users to have a great experience. So when you're a part of a positive experience for a user, Facebook's going to reward you. Now, if you're part of a negative experience, they're going to actually punish you. So what are the big secrets of the Facebook algorithm? Well, first and foremost, only 7% of your friends see your posts. So on your personal page, only 7%, and most of the time it's less, is actually seeing your posts, okay? If you post something and you don't have engagement within the first 60 seconds of that post, Facebook then thinks that your post, people don't want to see it, so they'll bury your post. Your post won't be seen. Now, for a longer copy post, the copy is what you write, give it, about 3 minutes. But if you don't get a like or a comment within the first minute on a short copy post, that means either your audience isn't interested or you haven't engaged enough before posting. Also keep in mind that if your page is private, or if you pick and choose what posts are private or public, every time you choose something private, Facebook is going to hurt you. The private setting only allows your friends to see that, and it doesn't let their friends see your posts. So you're really narrowing down your reach. As a business owner, you want to reach as many people as possible, right? And throughout this training, I'm going to discuss the different ways for you to promote and sell what you're offering on your personal page without actually selling, without being that salesperson, because people don't want to be sold. The other aspect is when you miss a day. So Facebook wants you to constantly be posting. They want you to constantly be on. I want you to imagine Facebook as an insecure or a jealous partner, right? They don't want you to be looking at other people. They don't want you to go places without them. They want you to constantly be feeding them, right? So you need to constantly make Facebook happy, and then Facebook in turn will reward you. And you don't want to come across spammy. Spam gets reported. The Facebook algorithm robot will spot that, and they're going to punish you. You can even get put in Facebook jail, where you can't post or send messages, for 24 hours, 7 days, even up to 30 days. So what posts rank best? The first, biggest, bestest thing you could do is do a Facebook Live. Facebook Live was created because Facebook actually hates YouTube. Facebook does not like YouTube. And Facebook felt like too many users were jumping onto YouTube to research and to watch helpful videos. So Facebook started this Facebook Live. So Facebook Lives are the most highest ranked post that you can make. After that, it's a long copy post. Again, a copy is what you're writing. And when you see that see more and someone clicks on see more, you get a point. So if you want to think about it, everything is a point system. So if somebody likes your post, that's 1 point. If somebody comments on your post, that's like 2 or 3 points. If somebody shares your post, it's 5 points. Okay, so the more points that your post is making, the more of an edge ranking it gets, the more you're going to show up on more people's news feeds. Okay, so when somebody clicks on your long copy post where it says see more, that's another point. So you want to get as many points as possible. Any post using a Facebook feature. So Facebook is always launching new features, or they have their old features, check-ins and polls and how you're feeling and what you're watching. The more you utilize those, again, the more Facebook wants to reward you. Now, posts with pics do better than posts without pics. Okay. And then short copy posts when you utilize Facebook's different backgrounds, especially the new ones that they launch. Facebook loves that. And then any type of post with questions. When you're asking a question, that's called a call to action. You're having the other Facebook users want to participate. So if you go and you look on my page, you're going to see I often ask questions. And when you look at those posts, they're getting 200 and even 300 comments. And so that's huge on the edge ranking. Again, remember, imagine every like or every comment is a point or two. Okay, we want to get as many points as possible. What other posts work well? So I mentioned check-ins. So a wonderful tool and a way that you can support others is with a check-in. But this is what you want to do. Don't check in when you're actually there. Number one, that could be a safety concern, right? And you also want to make your post at the best time possible for your page. So this is what I suggest for check-ins. First and foremost, you want to be able to, especially for offering services to small business owners, you want to be that cheerleader and be that support system for other businesses. So when you go to a restaurant or you go to, let's say, a Top Golf or a place where you're participating, maybe wine tasting, you go to a coffee shop to work, you want to take an epic photo. Even if you're not a photographer, you want to take a great photo. Okay. You want to take a photo of the outside or a cool part of the inside. You want to take a photo of your food. Take a great photo. Okay. Save that photo. And then the next day, when it's the best time for you to post, you check into that spot. You talk about your experience in that place. Okay. And you can even speak about, like, for me, I do small business lending. So let's say I'm working at a local coffee shop. We have one here in Nashville called Fido. I can check into Fido, take a great picture of the coffee and maybe my laptop out the window and talk about how, maybe on every Friday, as a change of scenery, what I'll do is I'll go to Fido and maybe do a couple of in-person meetings with local people seeking funding. And it's a great change of pace. And I love the people. I love the environment. The coffee is great. So I'm promoting myself, but not in a sales way. And now I'm piggybacking off from their audience. The other two great posts is if you share a friend or someone in your network's post or a business post, let's say Forbes or Entrepreneur, a Gary V, these bigger name people that a lot of us follow. When we share one of their posts, make sure you add your own copy. You can talk about maybe a big key piece that you took from the post or how it's motivated or inspired you or how you've implemented it in some way and how you've benefited from it. So sharing other people's posts tap you into their network. So you want to make sure you're also you're adding your own copy on top of that. So you're showcasing your thoughts, your opinions, and your experience. Sharing memories is great. I prefer to share memories on my story feature, but if you want to share one of your memories, it's great to share that and then add a copy about reflection or growth. You can add something funny, but again, you want to add, so anytime you share something, you want to add some new thoughts to that post. And then finally, the My Story feature. And in this next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit more, but your story feature is really your own mini reality TV show. And people love to be nosy. People love to know what you're doing day to day. I know you might not think that people want to know how you drink your coffee and what you're eating for lunch, but people eat this up. We are a reality TV driven society. So utilize my story, okay, as your own reality show, showing people, how you live your life. And there's a part of that commonality that people will see. If you're a single mom or you're a mom of several children and you work from home, showcasing how you balance being that mom and working really is going to cater and speak to other single moms doing the same thing. So beyond the reality TV show aspect of your story, the story feature is really where you can be more of a salesy type person. This is where you can just showcase products or services. You can showcase results without telling much of a story. This is when you can be a little bit more flashy. So for me, I do lending. So let's say I got somebody a $125,000 line of credit. I can just look, I got a $125,000 line of credit. Could you benefit from a line of credit? In the story feature, you can be more hardcore sales-like, just kind of hard sale that. Whereas on your page, you want to be more story-driven, more educational-driven. And I'm going to get into more of that in a little bit. So little tips about posts, things that Facebook loves. Facebook loves when you use emojis, but you don't want to overuse emojis. The key way to using emojis isn't to use an emoji in place of a word, but to start a sentence off with an emoji, end a sentence with an emoji, or break up sentences with an emoji. That's the best way to use it because, again, we want to make sure the user experience is pleasant and that they understand what you're posting. Facebook also rewards posts with emojis. The other thing is when you're doing a Facebook Live, you want to do it like this. You want to do it vertically. That way the user experience, it flows very well. Now, a key piece, if you're doing a Facebook Live and you're doing it with your AirPods, the Facebook app is actually not picking up the audio of your AirPods. A few slides later, I will show you a professional mic that you can get very cheap that will help give you that crisp sound on lives and make you sound a lot more professional. What not to post. So there are things that hurt your edge ranking. We've talked about how to help it. Now I want to tell you the things that are hurting it. Remember earlier when I said that Facebook hates YouTube? Well, Facebook hates YouTube links. Again, when you post a YouTube link or any link for that matter, what you're doing is you're encouraging Facebook users to leave Facebook. That's the last thing Facebook wants you to do. Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook. That's why Facebook is also pushed a lot harder for paid ads. If you're asking people to leave Facebook, they want to make sure that you're paying for that, right? So YouTube links are a no, okay? If you want to share a YouTube link, I'm going to teach you how to do that in the next slide. Also, stealing someone's post. Number one, it's lame. Give credit where credit is due. If you love someone's post, share it. Or you can screenshot it and tag them in it. But don't steal someone's post. It also can hurt your algorithm because Facebook will see that there's a similar post going on at the same time, and that looks spammy. Hashtags. Facebook doesn't like hashtags, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Copy and paste posts. Just like with stealing someone's post, a copy and paste post, if you join a business or a company and they're giving you copy paste posts to share in Messenger or on posts, do not use them. You can use them and repurpose them. You can use them as like a foundation or an outline, but don't use them word for word because if you join a company and then, I don't know why people do this, but they friend everyone else in the company. So now you have 20 or 30 people on your friends list and they're all posting the same thing. That's going to look super spammy and it's going to hurt you. The other thing you want to stay away from, this is basic human things. Stay away from bullying. Stay away from politics. Stay away from racism. Now, I understand this is your personal Facebook page and you can do however you please, but understand there are consequences and results to everything. We live in a society now where emotions are very high. So when you're posting about these things, regardless of what side you're on, there are plenty of people sitting around with all the time in the world to bash you, to report you, to write negative reviews, to screenshot you and put you in groups and just have you attacked. I'm seeing more and more that people's businesses are getting negative reviews. Even their kids are being threatened and followed. We want to avoid that. I respect everyone's opinions, but not everyone else respects everyone's opinions. So let's stay away from the controversial things and keep showcasing our content of character and how we help others. Like I've said a few times, anything that seems spammy is going to hurt you. And also when you're making posts, if you're writing in your copy for someone to DM you or PM you for more details, Facebook actually hates that now as well. It looks spammy. So don't say that. We can learn about commenting and different things in a different training video. The ways to post links. So I've said it before, Facebook hates links. They don't want you to leave the page. But if there's a link that you're having to share, whether it's for a training or your funnel, there are certain ways to share your links. So the biggest key, this is the biggest loophole, right? If you have to share the link in your post, what you're going to do is you make your post and you publish it without the link. Once it's been published, you go back, you click the edit button, and then you add the link to the bottom and you publish it. Facebook algorithm will take the initial post without the link and go off from that. Other ways that you can share links, you can post in the comment one time. Do not comment Under every single person's one, the link. Instead, comment it once. If people want the link, tag them in the link, okay? You can also put the link in the description. You can put the link as your website. You can put it in your feature photo, or you can even put it in your cover photo. The truth behind hashtags. Hashtags are hurting your edge ranking. This is not Instagram. This is not Pinterest. Facebook is different. Last year, Facebook's algorithm changed, and hashtags was a part of the big change. Now, if you have a brand like me, Get Funding Here, I could use the hashtag Get Funding Here. But that's the only hashtag you need to use. Don't hashtag living my best life. Don't hashtag words like this or that. Don't hashtag potatoes. I don't know why someone would do that, but don't hashtag those. That's not how Facebook works. Facebook is already working off keywords. So as long as you're using these keywords, you don't need to hashtag. But if you want to hashtag a brand or your power statement of your brand, go ahead and do that. But realize it can at first hurt your edge ranking and your algorithm. So what to post? A lot of people struggle with the content. Okay, so what type of content should we be posting? Okay, again, I understand this is your personal page. So for the first three, they're more business driven. So you want to tell stories. The biggest three components about sales is listening, okay, listening, telling stories, okay, and offering solutions or education. So success stories of your clients or customers, storytelling sells. Tell the story of a client or a customer. Tell how you've helped them. Talk about the pain points or the challenges or the issues they had faced before you. Then talk about how they met you. Talk about what products or services you use to help solve their problem. And then talk about how it's been since then. That story, you're telling a story. And because you're telling someone else's story, you're going to be speaking to certain people on your friends list that are going to relate to that story or relate to that problem. Nightmare stories do the same thing. So when we're talking about success, that's the good, happy things. That's like the Disney movie that makes everybody feel warm and fuzzy, right? It's a good, terrible Hallmark holiday movie, right? But then we talk about nightmare stories. Everyone likes a good, scary movie, right? We talk about Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street crap, right? So nightmare stories evokes a different emotion. It evokes the scary parts, the things that we fear, the bad things. When you're telling a nightmare story about a client or a customer or someone you've spoken to, you're evoking the opposite end of the spectrum. Sales are about emotions. Okay. So when you're highlighting the negative, it can be scary. Someone can relate again to the nightmare story, and they can inquire and ask how you can help them. Now, education. I've been putting out a 7-part series. It's called the 7 Secret factors that underwriters use. Okay. When considering whether they give you an offer or a decline in business lending, right? And each day I talk about one of the factors. And in day 1, I talk about FICO scores. I talk about your personal score. And I explain to them why that matters. I am educating people. I'm not selling them on anything. I'm educating them. I'm providing insight and information. I'm providing clarity. When you do that, people appreciate it, especially because you're being given so much information from every single angle. Sometimes you get confused, and sometimes there's information not being given out. Find out the information people aren't talking about in your industry and be the one that puts that out. Okay. Now more about you, right? Hobbies. What are your hobbies? Do you volunteer? What is it that you do in your life? Are you a parent? Are you a step parent? Are you a foster parent? Do you have a dog or a cat or a different animal? Do you have snakes? Do you like to sew? Okay. I'm tattooed up. I like to hike and I like to kayak, showcasing your life, your content of character. Who are you? Do you like to read? What TV shows do you like? People will connect with who you are because you're like them. Okay, people buy from you because they like you. They don't buy because you're product and service. Anyone can buy from anyone. Okay, and a lot of times I hear people talk about, well, my industry is oversaturated. I don't know how I can stand out. At the end of the day, every single one of us, for the most part, is competing with big boxes like Amazon. No one can compete with Amazon, right? So don't worry about the oversaturation. That is a lie that we tell ourselves, okay? We, who I am, who Ashley is, stands out to people that are like me, or that appreciate my willingness to share, or appreciate the fact that I'm educating them, or I'm telling them a story they can relate to. Those are the things that are going to get people to buy from you. You can compete with the big boxes because you're you speaking to people that appreciate you. That's how that works. Also, funny stories and memes. How many times has a dog owner come home and they've ripped apart the couch pillows, right? That's something that's funny, horrible also, but it's relatable. Okay, that's a great post. Think about that. It's not a great thing to experience, but it's a great post. It's going to evoke people laughing, people crying, and it's your life. It shows that you're human, okay? And memes, especially if they're business related or hobby or life related, again, stay away from darker memes or sad memes for the most part, but funny memes are great. And also posting motivational or inspirational things. These can be quotes. If you're going to post a quote, again, add your own copy. Talk about how it relates to life or how it's helped you get through things. People really appreciate it if you can be vulnerable or transparent, if that's something you're comfortable with. So, how do you come up with content? So, I've given you some ideas, right? But maybe you're still struggling. How else can you come up with content? Well, the best way to come up with content is to follow others that are constantly putting out content. So, who are those people? The people that are leading in your industry, whether they're individuals or the big brands, you should know your industry. You should understand the competition or the people that are doing what you want to do, right? Those mentors or those people you look up to. So, what you want to do is you want to follow 10 to 15 of those successful individuals in your industry or in your niche. Listen to their podcasts, read their blogs, follow them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, use them as a muse. Do not copy them. You can repurpose things. You can use them as inspiration. Okay. You could take one of their blog posts and turn it into a video where you're talking about the key things that you pulled from it. Okay. The other thing is follow industry related blogs and podcasts, YouTube channels. So sometimes companies put out this information. Follow those. Actively look in and listen to those and read them. Also, read industry related articles at least 4 times a week. You want to constantly be bringing in information that you can relay to other people. Subscribe to industry related mailing lists and newsletters. The other thing coming up with content, as I said before, like in my story, constantly take pictures of you working or your daily life situation. If all else fails, go to Google and type in content ideas for, let's say you do health and wellness, content ideas for health and wellness, or content ideas for car salesmen. You could be as specific or as broad as you want. And then if you read books or you read magazines or you even watch TV, highlight those quotes and talk about them, or talk about concepts, talk about the takeaways from whatever. If you're big on TV, if you're big into sports and you're watching something, talk about how it was inspirational, talk about how it made you feel, talk about how incredible it was. But these are all great pieces of content. Now I want to talk about organizing, because the more organized and the more scheduled you are, even if you have a very tight schedule, right? Minimal hours you can put into your opportunity, the more organized you are, the more you can do with less time. So the Facebook app allows you to save videos and save posts. You can create folders. Be specific with your folders, okay? So if you find a video that you want to repost at some point, or that even you want to listen to later, or that you think can be helpful, save that in that folder. If you have an Android, you can download the Evernote app, or with Apple, you can use the Notes app, and you can write your posts out. So it's just a copy and paste thing. When you have downtime, maybe you're waiting at a doctor's appointment, you're waiting in line somewhere, maybe you're using the bathroom. I use that often. We all have bathroom time, right? You can be writing out posts to use for later. Also, writing down your ideas, whether it's a blog title, a video title, or a concept or idea, write those down in your notes app and have that ready for you. You can also create a folder on your device to save content. You can bookmark websites for easy access. There should be no excuse of not being able to access things. Let's just organize them, set them up to begin with. You can also check the see first on Facebook to those 10 to 15 people you want to follow. So when you first log on to Facebook, you don't get caught up into the mindless scrolling. You see the important stuff that you want to see first. And also create a special email and opt in to these funnels, and you can create email swipes. An email swipe is a folder of emails where you like the subject line or you like the email itself. You can take those, you can repurpose them, and you can use them for your own email campaigns. And you want to do this, you want to gather daily. If you do all these things 10 to 20 minutes every day, you'll end up building up months and months of content. So you won't struggle anymore of, oh, what should I be posting? Now it's about when to post. So we figured out how to create content, how to save it and organize it. So the biggest question is, when do you post? Now, we don't want to flood our list. So if you're building your audience, I suggest only posting once a day, and eventually you can build up to 3 times a day. Once you reach the 2 or 3 times a day posting, you want to mix up your posts. So if you're going to post twice a day, early in the morning, post a short copy post and ask a question. And throughout the day, you'll be building up your edge ranking, right? So then in the afternoon, when you decide to do your Facebook Live, your name has been popping up on everyone's newsfeed all day, and you'll get more action and traction with your Facebook Live. Now, the biggest key is when figuring out when to post, I have on here some typical times. So if you're posting once a day, typically the best time to do it is between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, pardon me, okay? Because it's the beginning of the day, you can get that edge ranking all day. If you're going to post twice a day, in the morning and at night works, 9 a.m. to 11, 5 to 7. If you're going to post 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. And those times will also hit Pacific Standard Time at the right times, early morning, lunchtime, getting off work, right? But what you want to do is, because all of our audiences are different, we want to go to our phone, open up the Messenger app, click on people, and see how many people are active. For the next 2 weeks, I want you to check during the 3 times that I listed and find out when the most active your list is. That's the best time to post. So I talked about organization. Now I want to talk about creating a schedule. Okay. You want to create a schedule. If you have to, put an alarm in your phone on when to post, because I got to say, Facebook doesn't like third-party posters. You do need to be manually posting on your personal page. Using something like a Hootsuite will actually hurt your edge ranking. So if you tend to get caught up in your day, I know I do, what you want to do is put an alarm on your phone so it beeps and you know that's the time to post. So you have your alarm, boom, we're going to post. Now it's about, what do we post? We talked about the content, but let's break it down even further. You want to create themes, and your themes are what you center your posts around. This creates a brand consistency and recognition. I think the best example I give people is Target. When a Target commercial comes on, you know it almost instantly because of all the red and all the white. So anytime that comes on, you know it's a Target commercial. So you can create the same type of brand recognition and consistency by doing this themed out schedule. So let me tell you a little bit more. So what should your themes be? I have been diving into Russell Brunson, who is the creator of ClickFunnels, and I've been reading his Secret series, and it's amazing. I highly suggest it. And so they talk about this JM5 method. He did not create it. One of his team members created it. But what you do is you write down your 5 main categories about what you're passionate about most. So I used Russell Brunson's 5 as an example. His 5 are family, funnels, faith, entrepreneurship, and personal growth. So what that means is those 5 themes are always a part of the content he posts. So family, it doesn't just mean he just posts pictures of him and his family. It means that he posts content related to his family or other people's family and how it relates to anything. Same thing with entrepreneurship. So what you want to do is you want to figure out the 5 things you're passionate about most, and that needs to be the theme of every type of post you make on your personal page. So now let's talk about some tools and apps that you can use to create more professional, cleaner content. Number one, it's Canva. Canva is great. Everything on this list is completely free. Canva does have an upgraded version, but Canva, you can create graphics, Facebook covers, templates for your Facebook or your Instagram. You can create business cards. You can do all the things with Canva. Get you a Canva account. Snapseed is an app that you put on your phone. It helps you edit photos. It just helps pop that color. There's so many different features. That's what I use to pop the color on my photos. Typorama allows you to take a photo or a plain background and add really cool texts to it. That's a great thing. Photo editor, I enjoy. You can do collages. You can also take photos and add photos on top of it. So that's always fun. You can play around a lot with that. I mentioned Evernote earlier if you don't have an iPhone. Also, the YouTube video downloader. Again, we don't want to share video links. What we want to do is we want to download that YouTube video. But please make sure I'm not encouraging anyone to steal any content or take credit for content that's not theirs. If you are downloading a YouTube video, first of all, make sure that you have the user's permission, but also make sure that you highlight and give credit to that user on your post. And another great feature too is a background picture remover. I recently took some headshots and I removed the background. So now I kind of like put a floating Ashley on different graphics on Canva, and it just looks really professional and cool. So check those out. Equipment to elevate your content. Now, I mentioned earlier, if you're on your AirPods doing a live, that doesn't work. This little camera, I put that at $16. I paid $12.99 for mine. You hook it right up. If you have an iPhone, you have to buy the adapter. But what that's going to do is it's going to bring a crisp, clear audio sound, eliminate some of the wind and the crazy background noise, and it's going to elevate your videos. It's going to create a better user experience, which is what we're aiming for. Now, the tripod and ring light, the one that I have pictured here is actually a 10-inch. I got mine for $35 on Amazon. I am going to put in the comments these links. I don't make any money from these links. I just really appreciated the quality of the product, and I'm a Prime member, so it got shipped to me very quickly. But by using this ring light, you're going to bring really proper lighting to you. It's going to mount and stabilize your phone for, again, a great user experience. And it sets you apart from the rest. So this is how you need to be doing your Facebook Lives. This is how you need to be making your videos. So let's now we've talked about content and scheduling, right? We talked about how to organize it. Now let's talk about how you grow your following. I want you to grow your following and connect with people that actually care about what you're selling. So what you're wanting to do is add 10 to 20 people per day to your page, but you want them to be targeted. We're not adding anyone. We're adding the people that matter. And join 2 quality groups per week. Now, you can join one if you want. Now, what do I mean by quality? Quality doesn't mean the biggest, largest groups, and it actually doesn't always mean the most active. So let me break this down. Let's say you join or you're looking for groups of 50,000 or more. If they're super active, you can potentially get lost in the mix, right? Those groups, you want to really bring valuable comments and valuable content within the group, and you'll still stand out, even though it's very active. Now, you also want to consider joining smaller groups, 500, 1,000, 2,000 members. And if they're not active, that doesn't mean it's not a good group. What that means is there's an opportunity for you to go into an inactive group, to be active, to share quality, valuable content, and actually stand out in a crowd where everyone else is silent. So you want to do this by case, join the groups, post some valuable content, see how it goes. Every 30 or 60 days, go back to your group page, do an evaluation, and leave the groups that just aren't being fruitful. So how do you find these people? Okay, when you're adding these followers, your Facebook search bar is the most undervalued tool on Facebook. You want to teach Facebook what you want to see. So searching, for me, I work with startups and small business owners. I could literally start by typing in startup. I can start by typing in small business owner. Let's say I want to reach restaurant owners. I type in restaurants. Okay, so depending on what your industry is, you want to utilize the Facebook search bar. The other aspect, like I just spoke, groups. Where to find members of groups, going to the newest members in groups are very good. And to talk one more time about groups, adding yourself to like local advertising groups or those type of business groups typically are the worst. If you are going to add yourself to those advertising groups, promote your business groups, the best and most quality thing you could do is just add new members as they're coming in because they're not tainted and jaded from the awful spammy content in these groups. You can also reach out to admins, and I'm going to talk about that a little later. The other way is follow industry leaders' followers, and I'm going to dive more into that in a bit. You can go to YouTube, follow the big people on YouTube, read the comments, blogs and articles, okay? Sometimes they talk about other people. Sometimes there are comments on those as well. And then also, once you do all these, especially with the Facebook search bar, the people you may know is going to start being people that you're actually looking for. As an example, if I go and I add a bunch of construction business owners on Monday, Tuesday, when I open up my Facebook app, the majority of the people I know will be other construction owners. So once you tell Facebook what you want to see, Facebook will show you. So add the followers of leaders. I just mentioned that. So what do we do? What you want to do is you want to research industry leaders on Facebook, on Google, on Instagram. You want to follow them on all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the blogs. And then you want to go into the comments. You want to go and see who their top fans are. Those people are typically trying to be those people. If you're B2B, depending on your product or service, that's going to be huge. Also, depending on whatever your industry is, you want to look to see who those people are. Those are the lower and mid-grade type of followers that may be your target audience. Now, how to use groups properly. I spoke about joining these groups. Now I want to dive in a little bit more on how to use them properly. First and foremost, and I guarantee most of you have never done this, but it's one of the most effective things. When you join a group, you look at who the admins are, and then you reach out to the most active admins, if there are several, and you ask them a simple question. What type of posts or content do you think would benefit this group most? What type of content can I add to help better the user experience in the group? What can I add? What value can be added? When you ask an admin that, I can tell you I've done this over and over and over again, and I would say 60% of the time the admin will ask me if I also want to be an admin of the group. They're blown away by this because typically when people join a group, they're just thinking about themselves and they just go to town on trying to promote. You don't want to do that. You want to find out what type of value you can share. And now you're being looked at as an expert. Now you're being looked at as a professional. So once you ask and you find out the type of content, that's when you want to post it. Post those educational posts, post those videos, post those tips. Do it 2 times a week if you can, at minimum 1 time a week. You want to stay consistent. You want to stay visible. A lot of the time, after the admin sees that you're actively sharing these things, they'll ask you to do a live or some type of interview, or they'll start featuring you. And now your foot's really in the door. You also want to comment valuable educational comments. Share what you know. Be a helpful member. Help other people out. And then, like I said, depending on the quality of the group, you want to scan the new members and add them if they fit your target audience. What to not do, do not do this. Please do not do this. When you create a post or you create a video, do not share instantly to 10, 20, 30 groups. Don't do it. You're going to look spammy. You're going to trigger Facebook's algorithm, and they're going to shut you down really fast. So don't do that. Also, don't share spammy copy and paste posts with links, especially links. Facebook doesn't like that. You will get shut down. You'll get put in Facebook jail. Your algorithm will get hurt. The do nots of Messenger. This happens to all of us. It happens over and over and over again. Do not spam. You may not think that you are spamming, but if you've never spoken to a person before and you send them a copy-paste message with a link in it talking about some opportunity, are you married to your opportunity? Do you want something from the ground floor? I have something incredible to offer you. Don't do it. Don't do it. The percentage of a sale is so low, it's not worth your time. Let's do things with more purpose. Let's do things that actually convert and work, okay? Do not send out the links. I keep saying it over and over again. Facebook hates links. So what's the do's of Messenger? So the first two things, when you're sending out friend requests and people are accepting it, or when people are sending you friend requests and you're accepting it, after it's accepted on either end, send them a message. Don't send it right away. That can look creepy. It can scare people. It's kind of like the wave thing. It's like, whoa, what are you doing, right? But send them a message. Look through their profile. Anyone that sends me a friend request, I look through their profile. I want to make sure that they align with me and that they are a good person to have on my friends list. I hope that you do the same. I encourage you to start doing it. When you look through their profile, take 30 or 60 seconds, see what they're about, read a few posts, maybe comment or like, and then you slide into their inbox and you say, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request, or thanks for sending me a friend request. Talk about something you saw on their page, and then ask them a question. And if you really want to stand out, make a video. Can you imagine? You pop open, Angel sends me a friend request. I'm like, you know what? I see Angel's page. She looks pretty cool. I hop on to Messenger. Hey, Angel, really appreciate your friend request. I was looking through your page. It seems that you're into crystals. I'm into crystals, if you know. It seems like you're really into crystals. What's your favorite crystal? I really look forward to, getting to know you more. That makes you stand out. That makes you stand out. You can even do so with birthday wishes. Go on someone's page. Hey, such and so, I want to wish you, a happy birthday. That makes you stand out in the crowd. That makes someone feel special. Makes someone feel important. Doing that extra. The other thing I want you guys to start doing is start sending 5 people a day a message. Someone on your friends list, send them a message. But before doing so, like a few of their posts, comment some, get to know them, and then slide into their inbox and talk to them about them. Don't talk about you, talk about them. The more you talk about them, they'll eventually ask about you too. But make it about them. So rules of engagement. So now let's talk about the rules of engagement, your posts. So when people comment on your posts, you want to reply to every single comment. Use words, 5 or more is the best ranking, right? You want to use GIFs or pictures. You want to tag others. Maybe somebody is, asking about something or saying something and you think somebody else can add or bring something in or think that it's funny. Go ahead and tag them. But we want to make it a fun, enjoyable user experience. Don't reply all at once. So here's an example. You make a post. Again, within the first 60 seconds, you want someone to like it and comment. So let's say you get that like and you get that comment. It's important for you to react to that like or comment, really the comment, as soon as possible on the first time. Now let's say you got your comment, you react to that comment, and then you get 10 more comments. You don't want to respond to all 10 right away. You want to do a slow drip, because every single time you like or there's a comment on your post gets put back at the top of the news feed. So you want to do a slow drip. So as you're starting to see the likes and comments slow down, that's when you want to react and comment back so it comes back up. So you're trying to create this type thing, right? So when you start to see like super no engagement, that's when you want to like and comment on a few, boom, it bursts it back up. So we want to do a slow drip. And also you want to share your educational posts or your videos into other groups, but do it slow. Do it once. So you make a video, you start to see it decline a little. That's when you share it in a group. And then you'll get more views, more likes. And then as you're starting to see it decline, then you share it again. We want to do a slow drip. We want to do it real slow, and we want to continue to get that edge ranking. Rule of engagement on their posts. Every day you need to be giving valuable comment posts. 10 to 20 a day would be great. And when you give that valuable educational post, you stand out. Use different reactions. Don't just use the like button. Do the care button, do the heart button, do the angry button if it's appropriate, okay? The more reactions you use, the better. You want to reply with words, same thing, 5 words or more is the best edge ranking. You want to reply with GIFs and pictures. You want to tag others, but you want to add value. You want to be funny, bring encouragement, congratulations, those type deals. Again, we want to be a cheerleader. We care about the reciprocity, so we want to give to others. And when you're commenting on other people's posts, now your page is and your posts are going to now be featured in their newsfeed. So that's why it's important to give, because then you get back. So closing comments, if you want to be successful, you have to be consistent. You have to post quality work. You need to provide that education. You need to be genuine. The more that you do so, the more you're going to stand out. That consistency, people are going to see you over time, and they're going to appreciate it, and they're going to start looking at you as the expert, as the person that they need to go to for help. When you do this and you showcase this on your personal page, you're showing your content of character, you're showing who you are, which people will relate to. They'll like your story, will appeal to them. They will understand more. And from that, you're creating these relationships, and they feel comfortable with you, and then they're going to come to you, for their needs. So this wraps up the personal Facebook page training. Thank you so much for joining.